Just tell me when you're ready.
All right, you're good to go.
All right. Well, hello. Welcome again on the freezing Wednesday to our CODA meeting. The date is 3/19/2025, and the time is 1:35 p.m. We want to call this meeting to order, and let's have a roll call. Carolyn Kidd, Chair, I'm here. Commissioner Darling.
Present.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Here.
Commissioner Selena Martinez.
Present.
Commissioner Mandy Martinez-Gebler. Commissioner Sanchez.
Present.
All right. And we got a note that Commissioner Risenberg will not be attending the meeting today. All right, so let's get on to our mission statement. Our mission statement of CODA is a commission to foster support, respect, awareness, and appreciation for diversity among all citizens of Flagstaff. May I ask Commissioner Darling to read our land acknowledgement, please?
Of course, the Commission on Diversity Awareness humbly acknowledges the ancestral homelands of this area's indigenous nations and original stewards. These lands, still inhabited by Native descendants, border mountains sacred to indigenous people. We honor them, their legacies, and my apologies, their traditions and their continued contributions. We celebrate their past, present, and future generations who will forever know this place is home.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let us go to upcoming opportunities and announcements. Are there any upcoming opportunities and announcements?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I have a quick thing I'd love to promote. The Downtown Business Alliance is putting on a free stargazing event. It's going to be on April 24th. It's Thursday in Heritage Square. Like I said, it's completely free to come and take constellation tours. With the Dark Side Coalition is partnering with us. We're gonna have constellation tours, like I said, stargazing. They're gonna bring out their telescopes. You can purchase food at the event, but like I said, entry and seeing all the telescopes is free. So great way for the community to be involved, and anyone is able to come without any barriers. So it should be a pretty fun event.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Commissioner Hernandez. Do you happen to have a flyer for that or a link where we can go so we can share it?
I do.
Also?
I will drop a link in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I see Kimberly is here. Robinson, her hand is up. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, y'all. I'm Kim. Thanks. I'm Kim from the Live Black Experience Project and also with the Sunnyside Neighborhood Association. And we do have a fundraising concert coming to the Market of Dreams on Sunday, 3/23 at 3 p.m. The Sunnyside Market of Dreams is at 2136 North 4th Street. Look for the purple door. It's behind Fratelli Pizza. And we're welcoming country music artist Trey Taylor. He's coming in and doing a benefit concert. The admission is by donation. So don't worry if you don't have any money. We're not going to turn anybody away. But I will put a link in the comments if you want to go ahead and donate now to secure your ticket, so to speak. We are taking donations at the door, so you can pay online. It's as low as $5. But if someone shows up at the door and they have $2, that's fine as well. We'll have food prepared. So this is in lieu, so to speak, of our regular Sunday dinners that the Live Black Experience Project normally hosts. But we will have food there. And Trey Taylor, he's very excited to come here for a music and storytelling session. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thanks. And thank you, Commissioner Hernandez, for sharing with us. Commissioner Martinez, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Yes, so I did have an event to share as well. It is with our Flagstaff Leadership Program that myself and Commissioner Rinsberg are both a part of. It is called It Takes a Village, and it'll be happening on April 10th. It's a free event. I can go ahead and try and send that link into the chat so you can look into more details on that if you would like to attend, or kind of send it out to your circles. And it's put on by our class of 2024-25 for Flagstaff Leadership, and it's our class project. So I will send that out.
Wonderful. I like to hear things from Flagstaff Leadership Program. Being an alum myself and served on the board for a couple of years, I really like to hear FLP. And so I do have an announcement that Flagstaff Leadership Program, I'm going to piggyback on this. They are accepting applications for the new class. And if anybody's interested, they can go to flagstaffleadershipprogram.com and go ahead and fill out the information there. If you know somebody who's interested in it too, that program, you can go ahead and refer them to that program. It is basically Flagstaff 101. Don't matter how long you lived in Flagstaff, there's always something that you will learn or connect. It's a really good network. You network with people that they are lifetime friends after that. So it is a really, really good program for you to take part in, or you can refer to somebody else that you think should be in that program. So that's one. And the second thing I wanted to say, I just didn't want to take everything over. I like to do things in the right way. I don't know if it's my culture. I don't know if it's me. I hold myself to high standards because I'm a servant leader. And Commissioner Martinez, when you started last meeting, I wasn't sure that you were going to join our meeting. I wasn't sure who was going to join the meeting. I know we were selecting a new commissioner, and I was not apprised that you would be on there. So, and then Chris was off. So there was somebody who was holding on for Chris. So it was kind of awkward because usually the liaison is supposed to say who it is, but it was kind of awkward. And so I want to go ahead and take that opportunity to apologize, because this is not how CODA intend to start our relationship with you. And first impression is everything. And I want to apologize on behalf of me and the rest of commissioners. This is not how we do things here, okay? So I want to give you a warm welcome in the right way, okay? And we'd love to have you on this commission. And so that's all I have to say to that.
Thank you
Yeah.
for the warm welcome, and
Yes.
not a
Yeah.
problem. I understand things were at weird timing.
Yeah, it was weird. It was awkward. And I'm very empathetic. I would not have felt, well, so I put myself in your shoes and say, I definitely have to say something to you, because it will not be right. I will not sleep well at night if I didn't apologize. Okay, now we can move on. Yay, now that is behind us. All right, so any public comment. So the commission cannot act upon items presented during the public participation portion of the agenda. Individual commission members may ask questions of the public, but are prohibited by the open meeting law from discussion and considering the item amongst ourselves until the item is officially placed on the agenda. Each public comment or presentation will be limited to 5 minutes. So I'm opening up now for public comments. Anyone? Chris, are you seeing anything in the chat?
I'm not, although Chairman Kidd, just on a small technicality, because Ms. Robinson is not on our commission, and she did speak in that last segment, for the purpose of the minutes, I'm going to go ahead and take what she said and put that under public comment, because as a member of the public, this would be the section that we would normally do that in. So nothing that we need to change about we were doing our meeting today or anything, but I'm just going to take her comments from that last section and include them as public comment here, as long as that's okay with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for catching that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
See, what will I do without Chris? What?
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. All right. So there being no public comment, let's go on to approval of minutes. So we have the approval of minutes for dated 2/19/2025. I'm hoping everybody got a chance to look over the minutes, and may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Commissioner Sanchez here, and I motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Commissioner Hernandez will go ahead and second.
Thank you so much. A motion passed. So we approve the minutes of 2/19/2025.
Sorry, real quick, Chairman Kidd. We had a motion in a second, but we still need to do a quick voice vote.
Oh, all in favor?
So, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstain? Okay, motion carries. See, what would I do without Chris? You're getting valuable by the minute. All right, so let's move on to action items. Proclamations. First, I really want to thank Commissioner Darling for accepting that that proclamation for us, for Women's History Month. And do we have any other proclamations right now? I don't think so. Do we, Chris? No?
Not for this month, but I want to go ahead and change the screen I'm sharing here just to show you
Okay.
What we do have coming up here.
Okay.
So we can plan ahead. And yeah, I was very glad to hear that Commissioner, was it, who was it? It was
Commissioner Darling. Was
Thank
it
you so much
myself
for
and Commissioner Darling, and I had a really interested interview that day. So
well, thank you both for your attendance there. As I mentioned before, we're trying to do a better job of getting somebody into council chambers to accept these proclamations that are issued on behalf of council. And we would first of all like that to be a community group that is working on the topic that we are recognizing. If there is not such a group that fits it perfectly, then we ourselves as the commission can serve that purpose. So there will be two proclamations that come to us next month. It'll be Asian American, Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders Month, and then it'll be Jewish Heritage Month. And the Jewish Heritage Month, I believe we have not done in the past, but earlier when we were making this calendar, I think somebody suggested that we add this one. So the question I have on this one is that we don't have any partner organizations. So I wanted to ask anyone in the community on the commission if they know of any community groups or other folks in our community that are doing work on these topics that we could reach out to try to partner with as we draft the proclamation and try to get them into council chambers for the purpose of accepting it.
So I do know of a group, and then NAU also has a group, a Jewish group too. We have several around the area. So how do you want me to approach this? Do you want me to ask several groups, or do you want me to send you the information and you reach out to them?
If you have the names of the groups, I can note them right here and I'll reach out to them. I'll do what research I can to get a contact for them and then try to get in touch with them to see if they want to partner with us on this.
Okay, good. I will send you that email with the information. Yes.
Okay, and then
Yes.
Councilman House, the Chabad Jewish Center, that would be
The Chabad. So I have the Chabad,
Chabad, sorry.
And then they have the NAU youth, and then there are two others. So they're like 5 actually groups that I'm aware of that I can send you the information.
Okay. Do you happen to know the names off the top of your head? I don't want to put you on the spot.
I don't. But I don't want to mess it up. So you can put NAU has one, and can't remember the other one, but yeah, I will send them to you. It's about 5.
I know that we've worked with somebody on the Asian American, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders Month, and I believe they're with the United Way, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
Mark.
And I can't remember what that individual's name was, but I
Yeah,
can reach out to.
Mark Cox, and I could send you his
That sounds
information
correct.
too.
Yeah, Mark.
Yes.
And
Mark Cox, COX. Yes.
yeah, Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'm sorry, not
Big
United
breakup.
Way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big brother, big sister. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll try to get some draft language to you all for those next month or before next month, and then look to recommend those to council at our next meeting. Well,
Yay. Boys
or
and
Boys and Girls Club.
Boys
One
and
of those
Girls
ones,
Club.
right?
That's why I didn't want it. I just know the name and I just email you all the information.
Fair enough. Yeah, and we can
Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club. Yeah,
Yes.
third
One of
group
them, right?
is the charm. Yeah. So I will reach out to them in advance of next month's meeting and get some draft language to all of you, and then hopefully we can look to approve it next month. That's all we have on proclamations. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Chris. All right. So 8, we will go to reports and discussion items. And today we have a presentation for the Multicultural County Park Sculpture Exhibition. Yay! So let me go ahead and introduce Christian Kujido. I hope I said it right. I said it quick so I wouldn't spoil it.
I take any pronunciation I can get. It's a tricky last name. So it's
wonderful. Go right ahead.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to give you a brief overview today of the Multicultural County Park Sculpture Exhibition, Year 2, and then I'll briefly speak about the upcoming call to artists for the 26-27 exhibition, and then how CODA can get more involved. But as I stated previously to some of you, I am in the Hopi building, and sometimes my Wi-Fi is a little wonky. So I am going to turn off my camera as I present, just to ensure that I make it through the entire presentation. And I will take questions at any time or at the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to voice those. Okay. And I'm going to share my screen. Bear with me one moment here. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Okay, great. So as I stated, I am here to present update on Year 2 of the Multicultural County Park Sculpture Exhibition. For those of you who might not have seen the exhibition, don't go out there right now because we're deinstalling from now through March 31st. But the new exhibition will open in May, and it features 5 sculptures highlighting Indigenous, Black, Latinx, and other diverse cultural expressions. So this is an annual exhibition that is presented in partnership with Coconino County, and it is sited at the Elizabeth Lissy Archuleta County Park. So here's a little bit about my presentation overview. I'll give you a little bit about, little information about the project background, our future goals, and also the most exciting part, which is a sneak peek of the artworks that will be on exhibit beginning in May. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to play our project video, but I know all of you were sent this PowerPoint update. And if you have an opportunity, I encourage all of you to please check out this project video. It is fantastic, and it provides more information about the background of this project, the community benefit, and the project vision. And it features interviews with all of the participating artists in 2024-2025 exhibition, and also City of Flagstaff and Coconino County staff. The Multicultural County Park Sculpture Exhibition, again, is sited at the Elizabeth Lissy Archuleta County Park. And this site has a rich history, as you see here in the slide, that spans more than 100 years. The area surrounding the park is racially and culturally diverse, and it includes young professionals, NAU students, and of course, visitors from near and far. to Flagstaff. Another really important demographic the individuals and families of the nearby Coconino County Juvenile Court and Coconino County Detention Facility who've expressed to us the healing qualities of being enveloped in nature at this park. And the fact that we can now augment this with public art makes it even more special and something we're really proud of. So in our call to artists, we provide our artists with all of this information. We provide them information with the site location and the amenities at the site. We provide them the historical information about this site, as well as what they need to include in their proposals when they submit a proposal to us to potentially be included in this exhibition. So our call to artists will go out again early this summer for the 2026-2027 exhibition. And this will be for sculptures that are either existing or newly created artworks. Either way, the artist retains ownership. They are solely loaning their sculptures to us for the year to be displayed. And one of the most important things is that the sculpture must be suitable for Flagstaff's unique weather. So intense sun, monsoon season, and of course, the snow as well. So each and every year, we do outreach to artists all over the United States. So yes, we do national outreach, but we really focus on regional artists and the talent that is not only here in Flagstaff, but across the Colorado Plateau. This year for the 2025-2026 exhibition that opens in May, we had 31 proposals submitted, which is more than 100% increase from the previous year. So in addition to targeted emails, we also do a lot of social media posts, not only through the city of Flagstaff, but also nonprofit arts organizations like Creative Flagstaff and regional arts organizations as well. And you'll see more of that information here. Last year, for the first time, we also attended the Tucson Annual Sculpture Festival Show and Sale, which had a great return on investment. One of the artists that was exhibiting there, Adrian Wall, is featured in this year's exhibition. And then, as I discussed previously, we have a project video which will be instrumental in helping us with our marketing and outreach efforts for this year. And we also last year attended flea markets, not only in Kayenta, but in Gallup and Tuba as well, to market to artists who might not have access to computers or social media platforms. So who helps us select artists for this exhibition? We have quite the selection panel. It is comprised of individuals from various city and county councils and commissions, as you see here. They read through all of these proposals, then they attend a meeting where they discuss each proposal individually, what appeals to them, what might be concerning to them, and then they score each proposal. And from there, 5 artists are selected and 5 artworks are selected and 2 alternate artworks are selected. I want to give a special thank you to Angelica Sanchez, who represented CODA on last summer's panel. Thank you so much again. So this project has a vision. It's had a vision since its inception, and we want to continue to grow the exhibition, continue to diversify the scope of applications. We want to foster the artistic talents of artists here in Flagstaff. There are so many of artists here, 2D and 3D artists, that may not think of themselves as public artists, but their work would translate, really well into a 3D format. So I have lots of conversations throughout the year with artists who are thinking about maybe diving into the public art world, and I share resources with them and I connect them to fabricators in the Valley who can help bring their vision to life. All right, the fun part. So here are the artworks that will be installed and on view this May. So first we have a new work by Oliverio Balcells. It is entitled Atul Tlachinoli, and this pays homage to the artist's Mexican heritage. It depicts a Mesoamerican astronomical concept called Atul Tlachinoli. And this is essentially when the rainy season, which is denoted in blue, meets the dry season, marked in red, and the sun is at its highest, zenith. So this is fabricated from steel and it stands approximately 5 feet tall. Next, we have a newly created work by Isaac Caruso, and it is called Wings of Ancestors. And as you see here, there are 2 sets of hands, one large, one small, and there is a bench. So the public will be invited to sit on this bench and be enveloped in the shadow wings of our ancestors. And this is a reminder of not only the comfort of our ancestors, but also of their selfless contributions to make the world better. This piece stands approximately 12 feet tall and 8 feet wide, and it will be fabricated from reclaimed ponderosa pine, which will be locally sourced. Next up, we have a new work by Joe Ray, and it is called Celestial Juggler. And this work celebrates the timeless pursuit of understanding the cosmos. So we have an Aztec figure here who is charting the heavens. He's juggling the planets. And this sculpture pays homage to Flagstaff's astronomical history. And it will be fabricated from aluminum, and it stands approximately 6 feet tall. And then we have an existing work by Adrian Wall. Adrian is from Jemez Pueblo in New Mexico, and he's very much interested in climate change and how climate change, in particular the rain and thunderstorms, how they are affecting the Southwest and the indigenous lands of his people. So here we have a sculpture which reflects the power of nature, water, wind, and earth. This is carved from stone and it is approximately 6 feet tall. And then finally, we have a newly created work by Diné artist Lance Yazzie, and this is Changing Woman. And it represents Changing Woman, who is the deity responsible for the first 4 Navajo clans. And then I want to invite all of you to join us at the opening reception. That is Monday, May 19th at 10 a.m. And the reception will be about an hour in length. There'll be opening remarks from Mayor Daggett and from the county, as well as participating artists. And after those remarks, we walk through the exhibition and you have an opportunity to engage with the artists and ask them more questions about their artwork, perhaps their inspiration for the piece or how it was fabricated, and learn more about them. It's a really fun morning, and I invite all of you to come out and share this celebration with us. And then how can a CODA become more involved? So first is helping us to spread the word for the 2026-2027 exhibition, which will be here before I know it. And that call opens in June 2025 and closes in July 2025. So when that call is live, I'll reach out to all of you and share some digital collateral. And so if you know any artist in the community or regionally or nationally, please share this opportunity with them, and they're more than welcome to contact me if they have any questions. And then once again, we invite CODA to put forth a selection panelist to serve on the selection panel. And that selection panel will be the first week of August. So I know it can be challenging because a lot of individuals and families take vacation in the summer. But if you'll be here at the beginning of August, if you'd like to participate, please consider this. And I'll reach back out in a couple weeks and see who from CODA will be representing excuse me, I'm turning off my camera, your commission for this next year. So are there any questions?
Go ahead. I don't have any questions. I just have a comment, but go ahead. Go ahead. Councilwoman House.
I think Commissioner Hernandez, did you have a question? I have a comment as well, so I can hold.
I don't have a question. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to thank you, Kristen, for this presentation and for engaging CODA the way that you have in this process. It's such a beautiful park and project that speaks to the cultural diversity that exists in our community. And just seeing the exhibitions that have been put together for these past 2 iterations is just amazing. Really, really amazing. So just very grateful for the work that you're doing. Grateful to Commissioner Sanchez for serving on that panel this year, and just looking forward to the continued involvement of this group as this continues to move forward into the future. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I just want to say thanks. Thank you so much, Kristen, for coming and sharing this with us. And I did serve on the committee before, and so I really had a lot of fun. And I did see that Commissioner Sanchez also had a lot of fun too. There's a lot of knowledge to be shared. And right before CODA, I did have a session with another organization. And I was saying to them that it is our responsibility to educate ourselves on other people's culture and other social spaces. And I must say, when I took part in the choosing or the collaboration for the choosing of one of the exhibitions, I think it was 2 years ago, I did learn a lot of things on cultures, and it was really a really great experience for me. So again, other commissioners, please go ahead and take this chance. It's learning and sharing. And there was a lot of misrepresentations, things that I knew from the past, and that I learned, I got clarification. The narrative was changed when we were taking part of this exercise. So thank you so much for involving CODA in this. And please, commissioners, clear your calendar and be a part of it. It's something that you're going to, it's rich history, and it's for our community. Thanks.
Thank you. And I will share these sentiments out with my colleagues here in Beautification Arts and Sciences. We love what we do, and we love when the community responds to our projects in the way it has. Like, that's just the icing on top of everything. So thank you all. And if you have any questions, just email me. You know where to find me. Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else have any questions? No?
Chairman Kidd, I've got a question, if I can interject. Thank you, Kristen, for the presentation. When are you looking for a member to be designated by CODA for that panel?
Within the next month.
Okay.
And if you can also have an alternate, that would be great. Just in case, someone's traveling at the last minute or has a work-related engagement or comes down with the flu. Just have an alternate as well would be wonderful.
Okay, so we meet again on April 16th, so we could agendize that for that discussion. If that's too late for you, I'd recommend that we just go ahead and do that right now. But if you want to wait till if you're
No,
okay with
that's
waiting a month.
absolutely, that's
Okay.
fine. Yep. Have that internal
Awesome.
discussion and then get back to me. I know there are probably a few of you who are interested. And then get back to me after that meeting.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you. Have a great
great.
day.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kristen.
Bye. All right, let's move on to B, federal action on education DEI programs. I know we wanted to put this on the agenda. And not commissioner, sorry, Council House, Councilwoman House, do you want to speak to anything concerning this before I interject my piece?
Thank you, Chair Kidd. Yeah, so I think I brought this up at the last meeting and just suggested that we maybe have a more formalized conversation about things that are happening at the federal level that may impact the work of organizations like or commissions like CODA and the city of Flagstaff and beyond. We know that things are changing every day, it seems, with what's happening at the federal level. So there were executive orders that were limiting conversations on anything that was perceived as related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, cultural identity, specific cultural groups, limiting of LGBTQIA identities, etc. Those executive orders have since had an injunction filed against them at the Supreme Court level, I believe, saying that those specific limitations that were being put in place were unconstitutional. However, in a lot of cases, government bodies, entities, schools, and so forth have continued in their drawing back from DEI initiatives out of fear of, I think what can change that quickly over the span of just 24 hours. It really makes a huge difference in impact. We've seen schools that had the threat of or actually have seen funding drawn back because of DEI initiatives. And so I wanted to bring this as a conversation before this commission because diversity is at the core of what we do or what you all do. And I did have an opportunity to mention this to the city manager, who stated that we have no intentions of drawing back on the things that we're doing, but also wanted to call back your opportunity to share your experiences, what you've seen happening in your communities or in your areas of work around some of these things, to see if there are things that we want or need to be able to speak into, and just how we can continue to support the community even as we're navigating all these changes. So that's it for me. I'll turn it back to you, Chair Kidd, and look forward to the conversation.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman House. So in my community and also on other boards that I serve in, there is a board that I serve on, FUSD. We did receive the Dear Colleague letter asking us to pull back and, like cease and desist and all those things on DEI. But FUSD as a board and also with our superintendent and also all the principals, we stand firm on DEI initiatives, and because we live in a community that is diverse. So we can't tell you not to be diverse because we are diverse, right? And if we want to continue serving all populations, every child, and it's not only child, we're thinking about the teachers and the administrators and all the ancillary services and the bus drivers and everyone. We do have to stand firm with our mission and vision to serve all populations. So I haven't seen a shift as yet. and we're still standing with that until, is there anything else legally that, will come up against us? But we are still standing firm, and we read the letter, so we know what our stance are. Yep. So I want to open the floor for anybody who has, like in your space where you think we need to help as CODA. Commissioner Sanchez, I see you have here. I think one of the big questions came out in the last meeting was obtaining guidance on what kind of recommendations CODA can make from legal. So in my conversation with Chris, he said he will pass by the attorneys, and if there was any type of recommendations, he will let us know. So Chris, let's put you on the spot.
Yeah, no worries. So this one is a little bit tricky because it's such a vague question. Now, if we want to receive legal guidance on a specific topic or a specific action, something like that, our city attorneys are able to enter into an executive session with all of us that would not be open to the public. That's that notice we give at the beginning of each commission meeting, where they can give advice, if we have questions of a legal nature. Right now, it does not sound as if we have any specific recommendations or anything of that matter. So if we have those kinds of questions, now is the time to vocalize those questions, and then I can reach out to our attorney's office with those questions, and they can be present at our next meeting to go into an executive session if we want to hear advice on those kinds of things. And I have to caution that it would be limited only to hearing legal advice. We could not deliberate about the topics more than that, aside from clearing up, anything that would be considered legal advice. So, because this is just a broad topic, and we wanted to begin the conversation first, I figured we would do that today. Start to hear what ideas are, and if there's any direction we want to go or anything that we're wondering about, we can bring that back again next month. And the environment maybe different next month anyways, because this is a rapidly evolving situation. But what I've heard is that our attorneys are happy to give us legal advice. They would just need to know what they're giving us advice on, and then we could schedule either them to be present to go in executive session, or we could schedule a special executive session that would just enter into it. We wouldn't even have a normal meeting. So, but I think we should continue the conversation first, and then get there, if and when we need to.
Got it. Thank you so much for that context, Chris. So then it sounds like maybe the order of operations would be to come up with a recommendation, or like what we would want to say, and then circle back to legal. Did I get that
Yeah.
right?
So the Commission on Diversity Awareness is an advisory board to the council. So this commission does not have really any kind of what would I say, regulatory or decision-making ability. You can make recommendations that go back to council, and they have the final say on them. This commission does not get to change city policy or anything like that. So really, you're welcome to recommend anything you would like, but if there's certain actions you're considering recommending and you want information on those, then we could maybe explore going to an executive session with our attorney's office. But because this board does not have, or this commission does not have that kind of decision-making ability, we don't want to put the cart before the horse and, get a whole legal analysis on what is or is not legal, because that would probably be council's decision at the end, not ours.
Thank you so much, Chris. And the whole idea where Councilwoman Howe said, she did speak with the city manager, and everything is going to hold the same. Everything is going to be the same with CODA. That is kind of lessening any type of fears or any kind of threats that we would have. So I felt comfortable with that. Yep.
Yeah, I do as well. I was, with where this was going last year, or not last year, last month, and thinking of like if we made a statement or anything, would we lose federal funding, all this kind of stuff. But if as of right now, it seems like nothing's going to be changing on our city level, then I think we can probably table this. But as things evolve and if we come under more pressure, then I think it would be wise for us to make some recommendations. But if nothing's changing right now, then I think we're okay.
Agreed. Thank you so much for like verbalizing. I think having that reassurance of nothing is changing right now for this commission is just nice to hear.
And I still want to open it up for the other commissioners too, because they may be thinking of things or in their circle or something is happening or they're hearing something. So Commissioner Darling, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I just did. Do you have any thoughts, contributions, fears, anything that you would like to share with us?
I honestly don't have anything to contribute to this conversation. I like many of my community members are just watching in terror and grateful to live in Flagstaff right now. So I don't really have a statement, but I'm glad to be in a place where we get to feel safe most of the time.
Wonderful. Thank you. What about you, Commissioner Martinez?
Yeah, just to echo what everybody's already said, tabling it for now makes sense. But I think just kind of knowing again, like Commissioner Sanchez said, like to have this space to talk about it and address it as things change, because things have been changing so quickly, and like one day is super different from the next. So I think just kind of having that like in the back of our mind and always kind of in the conversation somewhere is going to be helpful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And anybody else has anything before I want to make a motion, but let me go ahead and have it open. Anybody else? I would like to make a motion to table this item at this point in time.
Chairman, I don't know if we need a motion for this. I think we could
You could just
move
go ahead
on
and
if
do
we're.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we.
Right.
It's
Okay,
a
good.
discussion item, so if the discussion is over, we could simply move on.
All right, let's move on. Good. All right, so let's go to updates of the working groups. Yay. Thank you, Councilwoman House. Thank you for bringing this down, because last month we were in a different space. We were in a different headspace last month, definitely. Yes. All right, working groups. You're on.
I can jump in and share about our Rainbow Crosswalk Working Group. So I'm still trying to to understand sort of the parameters we can work within. As of now, it is Commissioner Sanchez and I, and we had 2 community members show up, and 2 who were interested as no-shows. And so we mostly spoke about how we would proceed. And so we made a decision to do meetings every other week for the next 6 weeks and see what we can build out. I've done a little bit of outreach to other community groups that may have interested parties, but I think that bringing in enough community members so that we're not the quorum and that we're hearing from the community is a barrier at this time. And so if you all have people in your communities who would be interested in serving to guide a project like this, we would appreciate it. And we could use another 2 members for sure. So that's pretty much where we are. We have a calendar reminder and a Google Meet, and we're ready to proceed and hopefully grow.
Thank you so much. And I do have 2 or 3 persons to send your way, so I can email it to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Next working group.
Chris, is there an update on the library collaboration?
There is. I was going to provide that as part of my liaison update.
Okay, so I guess the library working group is pending the update from Chris.
Okay. All right. So if there are no more working groups, let's move on to updates from Council Liaison.
Sorry, was not
Did we lose
actually
you?
ready.
Did we lose you?
No, I don't really have much this week. I am again grateful for Commissioner Darling for being there to accept the Women's History Month proclamation. I'm trying to remember if I was traveling or under the weather for that week, but very grateful to have had someone there to accept in person. And I think that's just a really important part for bringing that level of visibility to those types of proclamations. So very grateful for that. Last week, I was in Washington, D.C. for the National League of Cities Congressional City Conference. And through the National League of Cities, I'm part of two councils that are part of or focused on diversity and equity work in cities and towns across the United States. One is the National Black Coalition of Locally Elected Officials, and the other is the Race, Equity, and Leadership Council through NLC. And with both of those groups, we had a lot of conversations about just what's been happening federally and how to continue serving our diverse populations as we are facing some of the considerations of state level limitations on DEI and federal level limitations. And so it's just kind of as with everything, a constantly shifting landscape that we're trying to navigate and making sure that we are doing the best we can to serve our communities. So as best we can, we are keeping up the good fight there and just doing what we can to serve our communities. I'm also trying to get more involved with there's an LGBTQIA constituency group or of locally elected officials who identify as part of the LGBTQIA Two-Spirit Plus community. And they also were speaking to a lot of these things. And so it's just a matter of figuring out, what this looks like across our communities and state. Last thing is in regards to the LGBTQIA group. I also attended during that conference a convening of the Arizona League and happened to sit at a table with a number of council members from more towards the valley, but who are part of the LGBTQIA community. And they are very excited for the opportunity to come up and join Flagstaff's Pride Parade. And invite us to their communities. Some of them are serving in communities where they are the only out member of their council and leadership in their community. And so it's not a welcoming environment for them. And they've had a lot of conflicts about trying to hold any sort of celebrations for Pride. So they have expressed a lot of interest in coming up and seeing what Flagstaff does, supporting our Pride Parade, and connecting with Flagstaff Pride to see how they might mirror some of that in their own communities. So hopefully they'll actually follow up on that, and we'll see them up here in June.
Thank you so much for that update. Thanks. All right, so let's move on to updates from the staff liaison. Chris, you're on.
Okay, thank you. I want to just pull out my notes real quick here. Let's see. Uh, all right, so this was a item that was brought to our attention. I think it was maybe in December or sometime or in January, perhaps even. And following the update we received from Commissioner Sanchez, I think it was in December, I set up a meeting with our library director and our library deputy director. That happened on February 7th, so a little over a month ago. And again, I'm sorry that I waited a whole month to get to you. It just happened to be a month or a week before I left for my honeymoon, so I was not present last month to give it to you. And but it did happen that long back. And um, first off, they wanted to note that on the oral history project, that this digital archive is not something that is usually housed within municipal governments or municipal libraries. And so when the library administration rolled over, really when we got a new director, and they saw this project was going on, they are supportive of the project and they want to find ways for it to succeed in the future. They just felt that they were not the right body to house it in. So they recommended, I believe, NAU and the Arizona Memory Project, which they thought were better suited for it. And from my understanding, that's where it moved to, is the Arizona Memory Project, and that they're able to continue that project in that space. So the kind of perspective they shared with me is that that was not an attempt to quash the project. They do support it. They just wanted to put it somewhere where they thought it would have a longer and easier path towards succeeding going forward. So that's all they kind of had to share on that project. Now, some of the other programs and things that they talked about with changes to policies, they wanted to note first on the name change, the name change clinic, the name change clinic. I'm sorry, I can't say that. That this program is still happening. It has not been canceled. But it's being marketed differently. So they kind of were realizing that this is a program that has applications outside of just individuals that are changing their gender and trying to change their names accordingly, but that it's having legal resources to change your name is something that's exists all through the community. So in their vision, by marketing it more broadly, they're actually hoping to bring in more clientele. And they actually said that since they have made that change, they have seen an increase in attendance to that particular event. So it's still happening. It has not been canceled. And that's why it's being marketed differently and showing up maybe differently in some of those invites and calendars and things like that. They also said that they do have a new form that can be used to approve new programs that want to be housed or hosted by the library, and that these can be submitted by any staff member at the library. And this was just meant to be a change to the way these programs are approved, not to the types of programs that are approved, just a new way to streamline the process of approving and conceiving of new ideas that they could house. They also talked a little bit about who can conduct programmings, and they wanted to be very clear that this has not changed. That I know that we were talking specifically about Drag Time Story Hour and how that has not happened in a little while, and they wanted to share that was because the group that put that on has not asked to come back in a while. It was not anything on the library side that they were trying to push it away. They simply haven't had that group come look to do it recently, and that if that group were to come back, they would be welcome to continue putting on that program. So they on that note, they clarified that pretty much any outside group is allowed under their policy to conduct its own programming in the library space. That just means that library staff would not be involved with putting on the program. So you can put on any program you like at the library, essentially, with the exception that it can't be something that is for profit, and it can't be something that would cause a safety concern and for the community. So they just clarified that the library or the Drag Time Story Hour was not a library program to begin with. It was not conducted by library staff, and if that group wanted to come back, they'd be welcome to do so. And Commissioner Darling, yes, if there was another group that wanted to put that on and had proper experience and demonstrated they were capable of doing it, they would be allowed to do so under the policy as it was described to me. So that thing we talked about where they don't allow library staff to conduct the programming, that's not a new change, as it was described to me at least. That just means that these kinds of programs are not usually done by the city. They are housed in a city facility, but run by an external organization. So that's the majority of my update. I'm happy to answer any questions about it. Our meeting was about an hour long, so I was definitely summarizing some things there, but I think I summarized my notes pretty well. And if you have any other questions, I may be able to address those specifically.
Thank you so much, Chris, for meeting with them and getting some of these answers. In terms of the oral history project, we had already decided that the Arizona Memory Project was going to house it. And so that wasn't necessarily something we had questions about. I think the big question was just like, will the library continue to support it? Which it sounds like yes. So that's super exciting because a lot of our materials revolve on using the library resources. So being able to check out the podcasting equipment and all that good stuff. So that's really exciting to hear. Around the Drag Story Hour. So just to make sure I'm connecting all the right dots. So the reason the program proposal was rejected is because library staff will not be running that project, right? So an external group needs to come forward and fill out that programming proposal. I just want to make sure I'm capturing that right.
Essentially, yes. So I don't know the specifics about a program proposal being rejected. What I was told is that program used to be run by an organization based out of the Valley, and they have simply not come back to Flagstaff in a little while. So I guess I feel safe to speculate that if a library staff person submitted a program proposal for that, it would have probably been to fill that void and would have been rejected because they don't want library staff conducting it. It would not be based on any kind of a new change to their policies. It would just be because that's always been the way they've done things, and they don't want library staff running these kinds of programs. So if that group or a different group wanted to come back, I was told pretty explicitly that they would be allowed and welcomed back if there was if they existed and were interested in putting on a similar program.
Got it. And then the big question that we had captured the questions in our December agenda was around the Rainbow Reading Hour. So with this policy of only library staff can read stories, there was a concern that we would no longer have readings in Navajo, Spanish, and ASL. Was that something that was discussed? Or did we get a sense of what that policy is?
Yes. So on that topic, they pretty clearly said that changes to that program have not happened, and that they are welcome to continue happening, and that reading hours are completely fine, and that any lack of seeing those on an agenda is not because they're not allowed programs; they just aren't scheduled. But would resume in the future. They also wanted to clarify that if you're looking at their calendar of events, that they made a recent change to the way that information is organized, where instead of marketing things in only in the context of a certain series of events, they now have all the events listed on one page and have added tags to each of them. So an event like Rainbow Reading Hour, for example, instead of that being marketed only as only as a part of a series of related events, it'd be listed with all the other ones, and it would be listed, it is inclusive for minors, is inclusive for people. They have all these tags they can apply to them, LGBTQ friendly, for certain age groups, those kind of things. And they should show up with little colored icons on the bottom of each event so you can see which kind of things they're marketed towards, but they're not limited to being in a series that's trying to accomplish one goal. They're more trying to exist on their own and then appeal more broadly to a population so that they don't look like they're only for those groups, but those groups are welcome to attend as well as other events.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chris. I'm so happy to hear that rainbow reading is still happening and that we still have volunteers reading stories in Spanish, Navajo, and ASL. In terms of next steps for the working project, or for the working group, excuse me. So we're good to just kind of continue working with Felicia and the other CODA member to get this library oral history project up and running.
I believe so. I have no reason to report that you wouldn't be able to continue that.
Okay, great. I'm going to reach out and get a meeting on the calendar, and then I'll just add you to the invite, Chris, like we did before, just so that you have a line of sight into like when we're meeting. And as always, my agenda will be filled out so that you know what we're doing over there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Chris. And I did drop a link in the chat, and that is the link for what's happening in the library, because they usually send an email on what's happening in the library, so you can kind of see what it's illustrating what Chris was talking about there too. So yeah, thank you. Good conversation. I'm happy we had that conversation because there were a lot of things just hovering over. Okay, if nothing else, do we want to talk about let's go to the agenda item, future meetings?
Certainly, and I'd like to pull up our parking lot here if I can find where to save that.
Sure.
There it is. So we can take a look at that.
Thank you so much for sending that over, Chris.
You're welcome. Okay, window. This one, okay. So we've tried to organize this one yet again a little bit easier to see for y'all. I know that you guys asked to see this again, and I apologize if I didn't include this last month when I sent it out. That was, I think, just an oversight on my side. So at the top, we've got items that have come to CODA in the past, but we're not looking to take immediate action on right now, just to kind of see where they're at. And bottom ones are ones that we definitely have kind of in the queue to add to a agenda in the future. So as you can see, this month we had the Multicultural County Park exhibition. I've been approached from 2 different other city staff members that want to present next month on a land availability and suitability study and code analysis project. That's a long acronym. And our micromobility share. I believe both of those are going to come from our sustainability staff. Although the first one may be coming from our development staff as well. Not positive which of them is running it. We'll see who that's going to be. And then I am hoping to come back to this group in May with some updates on a citywide anti-bullying policy. So those are the ones that are hoping to be in the queue. And if anybody has any things they would like to add to this or bring back or add anyway, then now is the time to speak up.
I would like to add, and I'm not sure if the transportation department or whoever it is doing the construction that happening right now, I think that is the mile long. I know we were 2 or 3 construction at the same time. If they can probably come in and just give us a little update on what is happening, because I noticed that we having a little bit of disruption in the traffic, and also I know we do have a couple roundabouts that are about to go around. So just an update what's happening and how we can help.
Okay, so is that on a specific project or just
incoming
projects generally speaking?
So I know that there are 2 projects. Well, I know about the 2 roundabouts, but specifically the roundabout at the corner of 4th Street and right next to Mims. by the library there. I know there's a project that they were going to do a roundabout over there. If we can just get an update on it, if it's going to happen and when it's going to happen. And I'll just, if not that one, then the one that is happening at Lone Tree. I know there's going to be a walkover, a drive over, a flyover, however you call it, somewhere on Lone Street. And I'd like to know a little more about that.
And I don't want to get into these too much because they're not agendized, and I don't want to talk about
No,
an
that's
agendized
fine.
item. I will just share that all of these kinds of projects, including the downtown mile and the university Beulah realignment, which is wrapping up more in the near future, have their own dedicated city websites. And once they get started, are posting weekly updates on their construction project progress. So I will see what we can do on that one. I can't promise a full presentation from our transportation staff, but I'll look to see what kind of update we can give on these, just so you're all in the know about them. I know that there are some questions about some of those ones that we're receiving federal funding for, so I'll see, what they're looking to share at this time, and they may be waiting till they have a bit more clarity on some of those answers before they want to go public with some information. But I can reach out to see what they have.
Good, thanks. That's all I had in mind. Anybody else? All right. So nothing else for the future meetings. All right, so let's get the meeting date.
It'll be April 16th, I think. Yeah, April 16th.
April 16th. Right. Any questions or concerns from anybody before we close out the meeting today? All right, so I would like to adjourn the meeting, and the time is 2:47 p.m. on 3/19/2025. I'd like to adjourn the meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll go ahead and motion to adjourn.
Second. All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Nay. Any nays? All right. Motion carries, and I would like to adjourn the meeting for CODA today at 2:47 p.m. Thank you all for your time, and have a great rest of the week. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good to see you.
Bye.